Why, hello, everybody. It's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. Now, due to a train derailment, and I hope everyone involved is A-OK, my order from Entertainment Earth has been delayed, so I don't have a Transformers 1 review for you today. But what I do have, surprisingly shipped from Walmart yesterday, and I got it today, is from their Star Seeker exclusive line, Deluxe Class Cannonball. Now, Cannonball is a heavy retool of the Legacy Skids mold that this is now the fifth use of, and I believe will be used for a sixth time as a repaint into Cybertron Red Alert. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with the history of Cannonball, um, it was a late wave Cybertron repaint of Deluxe Class Red Alert that really got like picked up by the community. The Collectors Club it started using the Cannonball as a character. It was got a convention exclusive, and people just really dug the deco. And at the time, it was a straight repaint. It was amazing what they could do. You got the little uh, green neon green skulls here. But I mean, it's an SUV. I mean, what of this vehicle says pirate? But people loved it, and believe it or not, it's one of the Cybertron toys that, after its release, started shooting up in value, has maintained its price and even gone up more. I mean, I only really picked it up because I was a Cybertron key code completionist, and I would not just go online looking for the codes to input into a website that has now been dead for like 15 years, if not more. I had to have the toy in hand, but I never really opened it because, to be honest, Cybertron Red Alert was okay. I found Armada Red Alert to be a much more enjoyable and fun toy, but yeah, not really much more to say about it. I mean, again, uh, retool, repaint of skids. I think this is using more parts from the TriggerCon repaint remold than from originally from skids. But we'll do some comparison, well, a comparison with Crosscut during the review. But that's about it. Let's get to the table.
Okay, now before we get into the transformation, a few things to point out. Right here on the top, you'll see the Cyber Planet key and the light bar. Both of these, as well as the extra arm accessories, all come packaged wrapped in tissue paper behind the tray. This is removable, and really, I guess we can also say this is how um, we're going to get the Red Alerts light bar. Although I guess there'll be like a different paint job here since this is the pirate logo, or they might just retool that part. I'll be leaving them attached for the transformation, which you can do. Also, I am doing an alternate form of things. The extra arm parts in vehicle mode are meant to plug into here. You can actually leave them stored on the inside of the leg, which we'll take a look at. And finally, I put this under the black light. Little disappointed, there's no black light uh, paint used or anything type of glow like that. Um, Other than that, I think that's about it. Um, Unfortunately, I think due to the retooling of the wheels, these front ones don't roll as well, at least on my light board, the back, my light box backdrop. But I mean, the back ones real roll fine because they're pinned in because it's part of the transformation. Speaking of which, let's get into that right now. So the first thing you want to do is come along the side here and pop open the door. Now, this is actually one of the hardest parts because you have to make sure all the uh, uh, arms and everything is crunched up properly. Um, and there's a tab there and a tab there that will secure this panel into place. Obviously, as those of you who know from the skids use of the mold, the doors open normally, so they actually would peg in differently, and I think would be a little bit easier. Once that's done, what you want to do is grab this back section and rotate it out. This will form the lower legs. At this point, you can flip up these panels and they'll tab in like they normally would. We're going to talk more about that in a second. Now, with the arms, um, they actually leave out the part of the instructions where you're supposed to tab the forearm into a tab right there on the inside of the chest. What they do focus on is the new part, which is this extra shoulder piece that there's a tab right here and a slot that's going to go in. Like I said, I believe this is a holdover from the trigger con, um, but we're going to go out like this, unpeg the arm and fold it out, just like so. And then at this point, rotate at the bicep to bring the arm facing forward properly. At this point, what we can go ahead and do is unpeg the legs from from the roof, and that will help us bring down the chest, and at the same time, the roof and windshield will fold forward. You can go ahead, secure that into place, and you actually want to bring the windshield up. But before you just get it out of the way for right now, and you're going to accordion the waist and legs down on that inner hinge. Again, hold over from skids, separate the legs at this point, bring the arms down so they look normal. And what you want to do is there should be some tabs here that the backpack will peg into. You can then bring these guns forward. That is definitely a holdover from the trigger con because that is actually part of that was would be the Cyber Planet key gimmick for the character. And I do believe, you know, is this pegged in properly? I'm trying to see here. Uh, I mean, it's really just like some nubbins, but yep, it's about as good as it's, I think, gonna get. Do I have this down? Oh, that snaps in. There we go. And then that'll sit. Oh, nice loud snap. I'm actually very surprised at the fifth use of the mold, and this is still a very tight figure. Now, this is basically Cannonball in its robot mode. Instead of a hook, it has this little laser tool. You can put blast effects on it. But like I said, and much like Red Alert, it does come with extra accessories. Now, before we get into that, let me bring in Crosscut here. This is one of the repaints of um, skids, and I almost forgot, as I usually do, you want to fold up the feet here on the bottom so the figure will sit a little flush, and you can use the ankle pivot. So, um, if it's just me, or it seems like there's a little bit of a height difference, which is nice that they were able to do that. But as you can see, the front end of the vehicle completely different from that Honda City car. This looks more like an SUV. Um, Different detailing here on the top. Even the inside shoulder piece is different. The backpack here is clearly different because first of all, this is all translucent plastic. This is all solid plastic that's been painted. Completely different design and look there. Again, coming around the back, this is the back of the vehicle, which would be the robot's legs. Those outer parts here, the rear, completely different for some of it. Again, this might actually be using more parts from the Trigger Con. I just didn't want to be bothered digging it out. I wasn't that big of a fan of it. But if we can't, let me just see if I can bring up the backpack here. Uh, yeah, all that internal stuff, that's the same. So you have that. Um, Bringing it back now. Now here's something kind of cool. These shin panels are the same, just a little bit of a different paint job. But if you turn the legs out to the side, and I'm going to cockamamie bend the leg just so the robot can stand. Um, this is where the accessory storage is, and you'll see. And again, because this is a whole different piece, the inside is a completely different tooling. Let me remove one of the accessories so you can see. Um, there is like the clips and stuff that was holding it in place completely not there. So besides the head and stuff, it's like a whole different thing. Obviously the shoulders too, different design. But the forearms, I'm going, and the bicep, that's all the same. You got those posts there. So yeah, so that's it for crosscut here, giving us the look at the original use of the mold. Of course, now I'm really starting to think I should have brought out the trigger con, but so let me just go ahead, straighten out the leg, and on this side, I'm going to pop out this other accessory. Uh, Ooh, that just went flying towards me. Thankfully, my vest caught it. But it does store very securely. I mean, once it's out, you can probably just, for your own sanity, store it on the back of the leg or, anywhere else you like. But these just peg on very nicely. First, we have the claw here. That'll just go on. You can hold it like this. You can have it like that. Unfortunately, there's no articulation to the claw. So there's that. I would say besides the peg, this would be the standard tool it would use. And now the hammer. Now, of course, you're going to be like me and think the hammer goes on this way. Nope. It goes on this way with that little nubbin sticking out. And this is more of a tool. I want to say on the original Cybertron Deluxe, there was a little spring action with the hammer part there. You would think that you could plug the claw on. Nope, doesn't work. Just don't see a place where it can go. Hey, can you a little extra right there? I could have some fun. Uh, again, put it on the back of the leg. No one's going to notice. That's where it was supposed to go in vehicle mode. But hey, you do you. Um, so there you go. Uh, and all the articulation from Skids is there. I will say having the backpack up makes it a little trickier to work with the head. Speaking of which, I appreciate the fact that they stayed with the classic Cannonball look, which was Red Alert's head done in gold with a little extra black paint on this side to make it look like an eye patch. You would think they might have gone in, and maybe they should have gone and done the whole 9 yards and um, retool a new head, but I guess that's not the spirit of Cannonball that they wanted, which I can kind of understand. But other than that, I mean, we are for that we're. I would be very surprised if we do not see this repainted into Red Alert, and I find that very funny that it would be once again the repaint gets released first, while the original use of the mold becomes the repaint of the repaint. Just one of those things. um I also I sh- but that's really about it. That's all I can say. So we'll pause now and we'll come back with my final thoughts. um I like Cannonball. This was definitely one of the Walmart exclusives I really did want to get, but I don't have as deep of a connection to the character as other people do. And I'll be honest, when we found out that this was going to be a reuse of Skids, I was a little hesitant to order it because I was kind of done with that mold. And oh, and by the way, let's not forget we haven't gotten the red use of that mold yet. So that's got to be coming too. So we're looking at like 7 uses of one mold. I was not a fan of the Trigger Con. I remember it being a little floppy, and I was very disappointed, as I am now, that these shoulder guns were not longer. You can obviously attach blast effects to them. You can fold them down, but I should also mention when going into vehicle mode, you want to leave them up like that. That does actually, they'll fold into position and it'll work a lot easier. But you know, I can't complain that the mold is still tight. The joints are all tight. It is a good looking use of the mold. It does fit. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it a lot more when it's released as Cybertron Red Alert. But then again, I'm kind of disappointed that we're getting Cybertron Red Alert instead of a Voyager class Armada Red Alert. But then again, what I enjoyed the most out of that figure were the gimmicks, which have been neutered. Other than that, there's not much more to say. Um, I should mention it is another Cybertron figure, so that there's that. I also should mention that one of the reasons why I was surprised to get this figure is I got an email from Walmart a couple days ago saying this was delayed to August. So I don't know what's going on. You can try ordering it off of Walmart.com. You might get lucky and find it in a store, but just be prepared. Um, you may not be as lucky as I am. Should Would you go out and get it now, or should you wait for a sale? That's a very good question. With the stories I've heard that Hasbro has cut back on production numbers to avoid overstock ending up going to closeout retailers like Ollie's, um, the decision really is up to you. If I wasn't going to get this strictly to review as part of it and just like from like as a collector, um, I don't know. I might have pre-ordered it, but then I might have let it go since I had so much Transformers 1 product coming in, and then maybe tried to get it closer to the holidays. And if I missed out, oh well. So hopefully that helps you make a decision. But again, I want to stress solid figure, six use of the mold, um, and it's still tight. I mean, obviously Hasbro, when with these heavy use production molds like Sideswipe, um, they know that they have to be consistent and consistently good. So I appreciate that. Um, and yeah, that's about it. If you like this review, like, comment, and subscribe. Well, I always appreciate the views. Your like, comment, and subscriptions help to communicate to YouTube through their algorithms and help promote my channel. And let me stress, subscribing is very important. For those of you who maybe thought this was a TF1 review, please subscribe. This is the other type of Transformers I do bring to you. Between 83 to 88% of my views come from people who are not subscribed. By not subscribing, you actually do affect the algorithm and having my channel promoted by YouTube. And promoting my channel helps get it to other viewers. We're at a time now where a lot of sites, Facebook groups, don't really seem interested in helping to promote creator-based content like YouTube reviews. Um, so you guys subscribing and getting the word out helps a great deal. What can also help with just keeping up the infrastructure of the channel is signing up for my Patreon. It's www.patreon.com/truckdog1999. There's a link in a card here on the screen. All I ask for is $1 a month, $12 a year. No thrills, no tears, no special rewards. You all know the spiel. But what you should also know, you can't swing the dollar a month or $12 a year. Your views are more than thanks enough. Patreon is just a cherry on top of an already generous Sunday. And that generous Sunday is you guys supporting this channel for well over 10 years now. Maybe we can get to 5,000 subscribers, or I think I'm already at like over 5,000 subscribers. Well, we're already over. Maybe we can get to like 6,000 subscribers. There you go. Before the holidays, I would appreciate that. Um, will have some more TF1 content coming for you, but I also have some other fun stuff that I hope you'll enjoy. So, once again, this is your old pal Chuck for Star Raider Cannonball. We will see you next time.